All right, welcome to the module How to Buy Right. See, I hope you guys are following this process enough to realize we do things opposite of what everyone else does. Most people buy something hoping it will sell, right? We put buying at the back end of this course because this is how to buy right. And remember, our whole goal was no more guessing. We want Amazon to tell us what people are searching for so we know exactly what to buy, right? That's the whole goal. And so this process, even though it's methodical and not sexy, it really helps you buy correctly. Okay, and this is the number one point. Only buy what your data supports. If your data isn't showing that people are searching and wanting exactly what you're thinking about buying, why would you buy it, right? Why not test it first? When I hear these horror stories of people bringing in these bigger products or buying in volume, hoping something will sell. Heck, even people who go to, retail stores and think they got a winner, most of the time they have no idea whether it will sell or not. You know what? You do now. You know how to find, and you even know how to expand on not only what people are searching for, how they're searching for it, how many of them are searching for it, even how many clicks are going to be on it, right? And at an X conversion rate, how many you can sell per day, per week, per month, per year. Okay, this is super valuable. And so it totally applies to how you buy. Only buy what your data supports. And you got to start small. So let's use our example right now. With SurfWax, I'm really not going to take, leaps and bounds jumps from SurfWax and go buy a ton of, red-headed dolls. I'm really going to start to build slowly off of my SurfWax data. That's what we've done. So to give you guys an idea, we started this process, about probably a little over 12 months ago. And we do it 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week. Do you know how much data we have now? Do you know how much buying data we have? But we started with one. Okay, and that's the key. We started with one. So you can start with one and use that data or use this process to understand how to buy right. But please, 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 only buy what your data supports. So let's say you go into the store, you buy one SurfWax and you test it, and then you see that there's results. Well, then go buy 10. Then go buy 20, then connect with a wholesaler, then possibly connect with a supplier overseas or, even a manufacturer in the US. It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is this is gradual steps that your data supports. Why would you buy 5,000 SurfWax widgets if your data tells you can only sell 400 in a year, right? This gives you parameters, so only buy what your data supports. Search terms are what sell. Okay, understand you don't so much buy a product because the product's awesome. Now you want it to be high quality, but you want to buy a product that matches your search terms. Does that make sense? And if you don't know if the product has potential search terms, then you follow this process. But you match products with search terms, not search terms with products. Does that make sense? I'm going to say it one more time. You match products with search terms. So for example, now I have 5 potential from the SurfWax experiment or process. I have 5 potential search terms. So if I find things that match those search terms, okay, I will match them. I will match products with those search terms. I will not go out and just constantly try to grab products and stuff search terms down customers' throats. So it's very, very important. Understand your search terms are your gold. Source similar products to search terms you already have. That's kind of what it's expanding on. I notice a lot of people in this process, what they do is they go like search term crazy, and it's a more fluid process to, we're starting with SurfWax, something we're familiar with. It's better to stay in those genres and develop more and more search terms, and you'll naturally find new search terms that kind of what I call, are close cousins. So I'll give you a really good example. Let's say I develop a ton of search terms for SurfWax. Let's say I come up with like 10 to 15 to 20 really, really solid search terms for SurfWax. But from there, I also find people buy surf wax and surf fins, right? Well, I kind of have some parallel data at that point to go, okay, I understand some of the major search terms in this realm. Let's see how people search for surf fins. Let's see how people want to buy surf fins and surf wax? You see the bridge that exists there? That's a much better bridge than going from surf wax to selling pet food. You guys tracking on that? It's better to bridge your next product with search terms that have things in common. So again, source similar products to search terms you already have. Basically, all I'm saying is don't go into a different universe and jump around like that, because you're going to get your search terms are going to be so broad and all over the place. You're really not going to get a linear line of search terms that you can build out an empire over time. Even in competitive markets, always try and find the gaps. Okay, so what that means is, I'll give a real good example here. Let's say an apple peeler or apple slicer, right? Like some very, very commodity type of product. A lot of people try to sell private label versions of an apple peeler or apple slicer. Well, if you understand the realm of search terms, you'll know the words apple peeler and apple slicer are probably extremely competitive, right? But even on extremely competitive products, more likely than not, there's search terms that people aren't looking at, which we'd call more niche search terms. And those gaps exist all over Amazon. So even if your product is competitive in a very competitive market, you can find those small wins, those very definitive, off the beaten trail search terms that will be, one sale a week or 5 clicks a day, right? Everyone's doing a bloodbath over the one that has, 10,000 impressions a day, but no one's winning in that space because everyone's overpaying. Well, even in competitive spaces, you can find those gaps that exist for the ultra competitive products. So like an apple slicer, maybe it's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that I would search for. Something that says, apple core remover. I don't know, something like that. That's a little more specific. That you can still be in that marketplace, but have a different, focus of your product. Always ask yourself, what search terms do I think this will fit? That should be a constant question. So when I look at products now, I look at them and see search terms. I don't look at them and see sales rank or anything like that. I go, okay, that's a organic, honeybee chapstick, and let's check our data. That gets that search term on a qualified product gets 10 clicks a day. We typically have a 30% conversion, so that's 3 sales a day. Okay, expand. 3 sales a day times 30 days, that's 90, a month. And so let's say that's about anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 a year. That's literally how we expand on things, okay? And so you should always be asking yourself, what search terms do I think this will fit? And as you go through this process and you test out different product after different product, what you realize is the money is not in necessarily even the sales of your products. It's in developing this reserve of search terms that you can use to validate products, bring products to market. But again, it starts with, what search terms do I think this will fit? Please do not go big until you have the data. Don't even buy 20 of a widget until you have the data. Okay? Why would you buy that if you don't know if it's going to sell? Why? Why would you do it? There's no reason. There is no reason on earth you can tell me unless if you have the data, if you're able to collect the data, wait till you get the data. And always try to offer unique opportunities on Amazon. It is much better. Instead of everyone who goes out and buys an apple slicer, they're like, man, mine's unique because it's a red apple slicer, right? Not really. It'd be much better to create what I call unique opportunities. So many people focus on private label and importing from China, and I just got my first shipment from Alibaba. That's all cool. That's great. You know what's way more effective on Amazon? Unique opportunities. So maybe that's taking, a licensed product that you got at Big Lots and marrying it to a cool wholesale product that no one knows about, but you know the search terms for the licensed product, but your margin is in the wholesale product, right? These unique opportunities exist all over Amazon, and if the sheep get slaughtered, guys. If you're just looking for a commodity type product that you can private label, I really recommend staying away from it. I think that is going to that cliff is coming to an end on Amazon, and I think it's all about people who are able to create unique opportunities. And we still do a lot of private label on Amazon, but we focus more now on unique opportunities. So, for example, let's say we're going to do our own board game. Well, we're going to take our no-name board game and we're going to tie it to a Monopoly or an Uno or something like that that can still pull traffic. It's a great unique opportunity for our Amazon customers because they know Uno, and now we get to expose them to a new game. The new game is what has our margin. Heck, we'll even take a loss on the Uno to get the traffic and the conversion. So think when you're buying, think more about unique opportunities. Hey, this with that, maybe no name with a name. We really like to tie no name with names just because, again, we're revolving around search. When you can access those different licenses that a lot of people search for, you can get those conversion rates, and people are just excited to get, your little extra bonus widget or whatever it is. And then if you can combine, license with a license, meaning like Disney with Fisher-Price, those things really go a long ways too. So you can literally, there's no reason anyone can't walk into a store, put a fun bundle together that they got on the clearance aisle, and now they've created a new unique opportunity around search terms that no one's offering, instead of going into, again, okay, I got to go compete on price. I got to go, I hope I have the buy box. No, create these unique opportunities. Most of your competition drops off because it's too much work. And if you build it around search terms, you're almost untouchable. So that's how to buy right. Quick review. Really, the main theme here is only buy what your data supports. And if you don't have the data, test. Do not take big risks. There's no reason to take big risks now. The search terms are what help you sell. Okay, but you need to know those. You need to know it's validated. You need to be able to optimize your listing, everything like that. And the collection of those is an amazing process that we'll talk about a little bit more later. All right, guys, that's the How to Buy Right module.